Hello, my knitting friends and buddies. My name is Nadia. I'm the face behind the Lemonade channel, where we discuss all things knitting. We are officially over the first half of the summer, and a lot of knitters are already tired of knitting their summer garments and using summer yarn, and are trying to shift closer to the all of the wool they have in their stash. But before we hide all of our cotton until the next year, I would like to share all of the summer yarns I've tried this year being 2025, in case you're for some reason watching this from the future. And a very important disclaimer, all of this is my personal opinion. Your opinion on those yarns can drastically differ from mine. And that's fine, everybody has their own taste, so in a way, it's going to be a trip down the memory lane of the 4 months of knitting I had this summer and a little bit from the spring, and I can't wait to take you with me. So grab your beverage of choice and let's get into it. For the tier list, I tried to be creative, but the heat wave has very efficiently murdered all of my brain cells, or at least it seems so. So here we have S tier, left no crumbs. This category is for the yarns that I would recommend to anyone and fight anyone who doesn't like them. I mean, it's a joke, but you get what I'm saying. These yarns are the best of the best, and I just will never stop knitting with them. A tier is called No Blood, Sweat and Tears. Shout out to all of my K-pop fans. This category is for the yarns that, first, were easy to work with, second, made a breathable, drapey fabric that actually was suitable for summer, and three, were affordable enough for me to not cry over spending money on it. B tier is called Fair and Square. This category is for the yarns that were okay, but not like super impressive. Like, they're fine choice and there's nothing wrong with them, inherently wrong with them. And I just liked other yarns better. C tier is propaganda I'm not falling for. These yarns are what I will never be reaching for again. I do not consider them to be nice yarns and would not recommend them to my friends, but it doesn't mean somebody else can't like them. So if you like those yarns, please don't come after me. It's just my personal opinion. The last category is a very special one. It's called PD tier, which stands for Pretty Devil. This category exists because of one particular yarn that made me go insane this summer. It was a nightmare to work with. It made my life miserable. But in the end, the project is so nice and I'm feeling so good about it that I can't not mention this yarn. It ruins your life, but you are left thankful for this abuse. If you're interested, stay tuned. So, let's start with something obvious. Sandnes Garn Lino is probably the most popular summer yarn that if you've ever tried to search for summer yarn on YouTube or just basically anywhere on the internet or ask in different yarn shops, they would say it's like the staple, the basic summer yarn. It consists of cotton, viscose and linen, and it is a very nice yarn. It's basically the safest option to go for if you're unsure about other brands. It will perform very good. It has a lot of drape. It's a bit splitty when you knit, but also it doesn't feel too hard on the fingers. You can also use it for both light projects like tees or camisoles or something like that, but also you can buy a bulkier version of it called Sandnes Garn 2 Cleaner, which is just like a thicker linen yarn. And you can use it for sweaters. For example, if you want to make yourself a sweater to wear on the hot summer evening when it's not that warm anymore, but still you need something breathable. And yes, by the way, this yarn is super breathable, and I would say that even during the hottest summer months, I never had a problem of the finished garment not breathing. And I would personally say that like 70% of my summer knits are consisted of Sandnes Garn Lina, and I love it. It is a nice tool to have in your inventory, but it doesn't give you the wow effect. Nevertheless, it's one of my favorite yarns ever, and I made so many garments out of it. Here are some pictures. So I'm giving Sandnes Garn Lina no blood, sweat and tears rating. Next we have Lana Grossa Landlust Baumwolle. It's a 100% organic cotton. It is super thin yarn, even though it's not fingering weight, it's DK actually. It feels very thin because of the way it's plied. And I would say it's quite splitty, but also at the same time, it doesn't annoy you that much because even if you split it, it doesn't stay bulky or anything, and it doesn't break apart too easy. So basically, if you split it in half, it's just like after you take your needle out of it, it looks the same way it did before. It is very soft. I made either tea from Petunia in it, and it's very breathable, but I would say it's a bit less breathable than other yarns on the list. Nevertheless, it's a very fine option. I can't say that I am reaching out for it anytime soon, because even though it was soft, it was very hard on the fingers to knit. So the knitting experience itself, it's if you know how cotton feels when you don't get any drawback when it's not springy, it's just like very hard on your fingers. And Landlust is one of those yarns where it's extremely hard on your fingers. So I don't think I will knit with it anytime soon, just because it's still in my memory. But I can't say anything else bad about this yarn, and the final result looks very nice. So I would recommend this yarn in case, for example, you found it on a sale, because it's actually quite expensive. But if you find it on a sale, go for it. You can make lovely garments out of it. I'm giving Landlust Baumwolle fair and square. Let's move to a more expensive category. Here I have Life in the Long Grass Silky Merino. It's a hand-dyed 50% silk, 50% merino wool yarn. If I'm not mistaken, it's produced in Ireland, and I would say it's one of my favorite yarns ever. But this is, at the same time, you will be surprised that I will not put it on the Left No Crumbs list for some reason. The reason being, it is very splitty. It is very loosely plied, and it's also very thin. So when you're knitting with small needles and also your yarn splits a lot, it can drive you insane. But there are a lot of good things I can say about it. It's super soft, it's super shiny, it has this silky sheen to it. So it's a perfect yarn for some thin drapey garments like camisoles, or I personally love making bandanas with it. It like bandanas made out of it looks so nice on your head. And also I would say it's quite wearable. I made a scrunchie out of this yarn, and I wore it every day for like half a year already, and it only now started to peel a little bit. So I would say that's a fantastic result for a Silky Merino blend. So I would definitely recommend to use this yarn for some small projects that you want to make like an accent in your garderobe, for example, like scarves or bandanas. And I'm giving this yarn no blood, sweat and tears. But also I would like to mention that it's quite expensive, as many of the hand-dyed yarns are. So just wanted to put it out there. Next we have Knitting for Olive Cotton Merino. It's a 70% cotton and 30% merino wool yarn, and it's a fingering weight yarn, so it's super thin. I absolutely love this yarn. I know that Knitting for Olive is a very popular brand for all the knitters out there, and it has like great online presence. Everybody likes it, everybody says nice things about it, but I was skeptical because most of the time when something is being advertised a lot, I think that it's like, you know, sponsored or something like that. But on my last trip to Copenhagen, we went to the Knitting for Olive shop to see how it looks like. It's located in the Frederiksberg neighborhood, and it's, first of all, the shop itself. Oh my God, it's so stylish. Oh my God, it looks like a literal boutique, not just like a yarn shop. It doesn't have any of the chaos you usually find in a yarn shop. It looks like you went into a super luxurious shop, and I literally felt underdressed even though it was just like a yarn shop. But when I touched cotton merino with my hands on their shelves, I was like, I need it. I need to try it. It is so soft. I cannot even express how soft it is. It feels luxurious. It looks luxurious. And when you knit with it, there's literally no bad things I can say about it. It is just perfect. I don't know what to say other than I fell in love completely, and I will be trying many more yarns from Knitting for Olive. They are quite expensive, so maybe look for other type of cheaper yarns if you are on the budget. But if you want to invest in something that will be very breathable and probably will withstand a long time, because the yarn is very nicely plied, I think it's gonna be quite durable throughout the wear. I will probably update you more on it later because I'm just finishing the first garment I'm making in it. I'm making a camisole in it. But overall, I am very happily giving it the left no crumbs rating, and I will be buying this yarn next year for summer knitting for sure. It is gonna be a staple in my yarn stash. Next we have the brand that I will never try to pronounce, but the yarn name is Cahlista and the name of the brand you can see on the screen. It's one of the thicker yarns, but it's still a summer yarn. It's 100% cotton Aran weight yarn. And this is actually the yarn that inspired me to create the Pretty Devil category. This is the yarn. I cannot explain how much hatred it caused me during knitting the test knit I was doing for Kate Create Design. She made a beautiful, beautiful design called Picnic Sweater, and I decided to make it in this gorgeous yarn because it looked very soft and there are not too many Aran weight summer yarns, so it was kind of an obvious choice. And actually it was super cheap, like it was also on sale, and I was so impressed with the price. I was like, oh damn. And I definitely saw this yarn on a lot of tier lists of other knitters, so I was super excited about it. That was until I started knitting with it, and I found out that it has so much cotton lint in it that sometimes I literally could not breathe. My whole table was in cotton lint. My computer was covered in cotton lint. Suddenly, my whole apartment was covered in cotton lint. Even worse, my husband started getting allergies because lint was flying around our apartment as if we had like a snowfall during the day. And it collected all the allergens it could, and then he was breathing it and he was sneezing non-stop. And I had to vacuum clean the whole apartment every day just because of this yarn. But I was hoping that after I'm finished with the garment and I wash it, the whole lint situation will kind of resolve itself. It will be washed out. No, that did not happen. So every time I wear my sweater now, I can see lots of balls of cotton on my jeans or whatever I'm wearing my sweater with, and it drives me insane. But why is this yarn not in the propaganda I'm not falling for? Actually, it's because this yarn, even though it was so infuriating to knit with, gave me the softest, the most spongy feeling cotton sweater I could ever create, and it looks amazing. It blocked out perfectly. It feels so nice. It's light in the meaning of like it's breathable, but at the same time it gives the sweater feeling, so it's quite heavy to wear it. And it is just like the perfect garment for summer evenings, and I've been wearing it non-stop ever since I finished it. And also the colors look so bright and nice. I can't say anything bad about the finished result. It looks amazing, it feels amazing. Just if you're a process knitter, you will probably want to throw away this yarn like 5 minutes after you start knitting with it. So yes, I think it required its own category, Pretty Devil. Just know that this yarn gives you the prettiest result while being the most annoying pain in your butt you could imagine. Next one, we have Hjertegarn Merino cotton. This is a 50% cotton and 50% merino superwash wool. I think it's the only superwash wool on my list. And it's one of those yarns that are okay. I can't really say anything good or bad about it. It's literally fair and square, just as described. It is not splitty, it's quite soft. It has all the disadvantages of working with cotton, but at the same time it looks quite nice because of the merino blend and has nice stitch definition. I would say it's just like, if you are not aiming to have like the most beautiful colorway in your sweater and you're okay with like using very basic colors and not anything fancy, that would be a great choice. And it's quite affordable, so I would definitely recommend this yarn overall. So it goes into the fair and square category. The next one is Iris by Permin. It is a decay weight yarn and consists of viscose cotton and linen, just like the Sandnes Garn Lino. But the difference is that the biggest portion of the yarn consistency, of the fiber consistency, is viscose. Because of that, this yarn is somehow even more breathable than Sandnes Garn. That was very surprising to me when I got this yarn. It is literally, it feels like nothing. It feels like air, and I feel like it is perfect yarn, but there are two disadvantages that I had with this yarn. First of all, it is even more splitty than Sandnes Garn Lino, but I think it's kind of, at this point, you can already expect some yarns to be splitty. But there is one disadvantage that I didn't find anybody talk about on the internet, and I want to just like tell you beforehand. So these, like in balls of yarn, Iris looks beautiful. I bought the red and white version of it and it looked so cute on the photos. I was like, oh my god, it looks like a literal candy cane. It's so nice. But when you knit it, the fabric that you make, it's not that pretty, I would say. Especially I would stay away from the white and red coloring, because I swear to God, it's just like, it looks like a used pad. And I cannot unsee it, because also in the white and red yarn, it's not always bright red. Sometimes it's kind of browny, stale blood kind of colors, and I just can't unsee it. But I think that maybe other colorways can look better. And also it depends on your taste. Maybe you will actually like the patterns that this yarn creates. But for me, it was not something I would excitingly wear. So I kind of opted out to making things that will be underneath my actual clothes. So for example, I would definitely recommend this yarn to make bralettes. It feels very nice to the skin and it's quite sturdy, so I feel like it's gonna be a nice yarn to use for your bralettes. And actually used up my period underwear yarn for a bralette, and it feels very nice, even though it looks intriguing. So it goes into fair and square category. Next on the list is BC Garn Lino. It's 100% linen and it's fingering super fine yarn. It is the only yarn I am planning to put on the propaganda I'm not falling for, because I saw this yarn so many times being used by multiple people in multiple patterns. And I was like, ooh, that looks very nice. And then luckily, I managed to grab a lot of balls of this yarn at the thrift shop. And I was like super excited to start knitting with it. And one thing I will mention, that of course there are advantages of making anything with 100% linen. For example, it's sturdy, it will probably last you a lifetime and everything like that, and it's very breathable and everything. But linen has absolutely no stretch at all, obviously, because linen is basically cellulose. It's 100% cellulose. And when you're knitting a super fine yarn that doesn't have any stretch to it, your fingers just ask you, why are you doing this to us, mother? Can you please stop? This is borderline evil. So I believe that if I actually kind of suffered through, the garment in the end would look very nice and very beautiful. But yeah, no, unless I want to actually cry myself to sleep, I'm not gonna use it anymore. And I'm trying to sell all the balls of Lina that I bought on my Vinted. So if you're interested by any chance, comment and I will send you a link. I'm selling it for very cheap. So this is the only yarn on the propaganda I'm not falling for. We're getting closer to the end, only 2 yarns left, and one of them being Rauma Petunia. Petunia is a 100% Pima cotton yarn, and it's another yarn that I will tell you is a great base cotton yarn you can have. Pima cotton is very famous for being very soft and kind to your fingers, and it's just that. It feels very nice, it's very breathable. Honestly, I didn't mind knitting with it. I usually mind knitting with 100% cotton because it feels really hard on your fingers. But this one, I did not mind at all. And the final result looked very nice. So I would 100% recommend this yarn. It goes to no blood, sweat and tears rating, but only because I don't think that it has anything like super duper impressive about it, you know? So like Left No Crumbs is more of a, that was a wow effect. Rauma Petunia is just a very nice yarn that will be your best buddy when making your summer garments. The last one on our list is Malabrigo Silky Merino. It's a 51% silk and 49% merino wool. And I found that hilarious when I saw it on the tag, because you could have made it 50% and 50%, but you just had to show us that there's more silk than merino. Okay. I would say that so far it is my favorite yarn I've ever used in my life. It is expensive as hell, but it is so soft. It is so nice on your fingers. It looks so nice in the fabric after you're finished. It knits up super quickly. It's definitely not too breathable, so I would say it's more on the edge of knitting for your like summer sweaters and everything, but it feels so nice on the skin. Like if you have troubles with wearing anything knitted next to your skin, so like you have sensitive overload or anything, this yarn will fix everything. This yarn will fix your life. This yarn will make you cry tears of joy after you use it. I don't know how much money I need to make in order to knit everything out of this yarn, but I will definitely, guys, this is my love forever. And I also made a scrunchie for my friend out of this yarn, and she says that is like the softest thing she's ever touched in her life. So Malabrigo definitely knew what they were doing with this one, and it definitely left no crumbs. So here's everything I've tried this summer. Hope my tier list will help you with choosing what option is perfect for you and your particular needs. Until next time, and have a great day, my knitting friends and buddies.